Hey all, it's LC back again with another video. Welcome to the Cannabis Club. Any support you would show to the video would be appreciated. With that, let's get right into it. Today we're going to be starting this little story time type of series I want to do on here, and hopping into our first story. The first story is going to be about the best weed I ever smoked, the best cannabis I ever consumed, the best experience just from like a high perspective, I suppose. Like what was the best high, what was the most memorable high. And I was probably 16, 17 years old at the time, and I was still living with my fam back in my childhood home. And at the time, I had a friend who needed a place to stay at the time, living with me. Let's call him Hank. He lived with me like on 2 separate occasions, and we're still good friends to this day. But I've known him since I was like 11 or 12 years old, and we've known each other a super long time. To give y'all some context on Hank, but we're good buddies. We play video games together. I'm not going to disclose anything about it, but he's actually a creator himself. And he, just to give you some overall view and vibe of the situation, me and him at this point, because we were staying together, we're hanging out quite a few days a week type shit, we were seeing each other a lot. And we were, smoking a lot, and he had just recently gotten into it. He wasn't into it quite as soon as I was, because I kind of got into it around 14, 15. He was getting into it. He was probably 18, 19. He was a little older than me even, so getting into it. And years later when we would see each other again, we would smoke together again, so obviously it rubbed off a little bit. And I like to think cannabis could be potentially beneficial to some people, so I like to think hopefully it benefited them. But maybe we should have waited until we were a bit older. But yeah, kids don't be doing all that. But in fact, if you're under 18, get off this video. But we're like, so we get we have this little blue pickup truck that we're driving around at the time. It's the car we have at the time, and we get to drive it every now and again because he got a license at the time. I'm still kind of working on mine, so I don't have my license yet, but he has his. So we drive around, and we basically be like, we go pick up groceries, but we really, we're going to the store or whatever. We're not lying, but we're also going to pick up weed. And that would be how we would get it around this time if no one would bring it to us or anything like that, which, struggle hours sometimes back then, it didn't happen, so you had to make it happen. And so we went and got some stuff from a buddy of mine, and for some reason this time when he gave us the stuff, it was just off the chain. I remember what he says it was. He says it was strawberry kush. And since then I've tried 1 or 2 products from a dispensary, only like 1 or 2 that are actually strawberry kush, and both of the products were super good. But I don't really know if it was that, you know what I mean? I still can't quite determine. I've actually never had the normal flower for it again, so I'm not sure if that's really what it was. And when you're buying it like that, you don't really ever know. That could have been anything. That could have been wedding cake, sour diesel. It could have been anything, but it was really good. Like, me and him both noted, like, just hits in that it was super good, and we smoked it all throughout the night, and it was gone pretty much by early morning the next day. And me and him that next morning, after smoking the last little bit of it, we're just like still going on about how is this like this good, how do we get more of this? And we were actively trying to get more of it and just couldn't find any more of it. It was all different stuff, not as good of stuff. And for a while that was like a bar I was trying to surpass, is this stuff, and it just was never doable. And like, it's been so long now that just isn't happening anymore. I stopped caring. But like for a while I was like, dang, I wish I could find something that good again. That's kind of why I really I think that stuff is so impactful, is because it really it left that mark on me and made me think that way. But also that night was just really memorable as well. We had a great time laughing about basically nothing for I can't remember what we were watching, doing, laughing about, but we were probably just laughing at nothing, talking about some BS, doing nothing, And then I remember the second half of the night, after we ate a bunch of food and just destroyed the kitchen, I remember the next morning getting complained at because all the food was gone because we got the mega munchies apparently. But we played video games like the rest of the night, and it was like a great time. And I remember him with me for like the next 2 days was looking for it, but eventually me and him were just both like, we gotta give up. We're never gonna find any more of that, and we gotta find something that's different, that's like equivalent, and then it just never happened. And for what it's worth, I've probably had equally like as good stuff since then. I just haven't like my tolerance is different or something like that, and that's perfectly fine with me. I feel like that's normal when you're on medicine, and I do look at it as medicine for myself, and that's why you know I feel like unless you think about it like medicine, you shouldn't be on like daily usage like kind of stuff, because there is cons to daily usage of any kind of substance, even cannabis. But yeah, that stuff is just real notable to me, and I like I said, they said it was strawberry kush. I'll never really know, and that kind of is just where the story ends. And that's one story that really makes that particular friend come to mind, and it's a real nice story. So I figured I'd share it with y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.